with our friend, of course, very talented Vanessa O'Donnell. Oh my gosh, my stomach's growling and I'm going into a sugar fit right now. Right now.
Courtney and Derek, you know that I'm going to bring you back some of these goodies, but until then, we're going to talk about the perfect man and how to make him the perfect gingerbread man, that is. So, Vanessa, you have some amazing tips for those holiday cookie parties to do with the kids at home. Of course, you have wonderful things here at Ooh La La that people can come and pick up, but if people want to take them home, give us the scoop on the best way to start with your gingerbread.
So I've rolled out the gingerbread dough and I have it at 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch thick. And the reason I did that was so when they bake, they don't break. Okay. So I've rolled it out to that width. And then I'm going to take, I have 2 sizes, and you take a bowl of flour and just, this is a little trick too. If you dip it in, well, this is going to be too big. If you just dip the cookie cutter in flour, then you add it to your dough. It cuts it out perfectly.
And another tip that Vanessa had that was pretty fantastic if you're making these at home is to actually keep things pretty cold, right? So tell me a little bit about the temperature before we move on to icing these big boys.
So the temperature of the dough needs to be pretty cold, and that'll also help with the dough breaking. And after it is cut out, you just put it on your cookie sheet and bake it. But yeah, so you want your dough cold, and as well as, like, I put this in the refrigerator or the freezer, and it's cold as well. And also at home, you can put down parchment paper and it'll help with the dough not sticking.
Okay, and Vanessa also had another really great tip about baking so you don't burn your gingerbread men and anything else. So tell me, because I don't want to get this wrong, but you use 2 baking sheets when you cook at home?
So at home or at the store, you use 2 baking sheets so that the bottom doesn't get burned, but the top gets nice and toasted.
Okay, so always 2 baking sheets. Now I'm going to start to decorate this dude right here because I want to make him look good. But while I'm doing that, Vanessa, you tell me a little bit about your icing tricks, because you had some pretty tasty and good tricks there.
So we have royal icing, and there's flooding consistency and piping consistency. And what you're using is piping consistency. And let me...
I'm a really bad man maker here, but
bring it closer to the bottom of the bag. It will sometimes squirt out. Now I was using. Okay, so this is another good tip. If you're at home, make sure your bags are covered with a wet paper towel, because the royal icing tends to dry. See? Pretty quickly. So now you can pipe. So that's another tip. At home, make sure your bags are covered with a wet paper towel.
Okay, so we're learning all kinds of good tips, and we need to know just a little bit about the final product. Since I couldn't make one right now, tell us just how you get these clean lines, and that people shouldn't be scared to make these at home.
So it's like coloring. You first, with your piping icing, make a border of the shape of the cookie cutter. Then you're going to take your flood icing, which has more water to it. Then you're going to flood the cookie. Then take your piped icing again and make all your little details.
Okay, so Vanessa has so many great tips on gingerbread men. And also, you know what, if you don't want to make these yourself, come in here to Ooh La La and grab them. We're going to put the recipes online and all those tips for you. But until then, I'm going to go ahead and eat my perfect man and send it back to you guys, Courtney and Derek, in the studio, because I got some tasting to do.
And we're just going to stand here and eat our feelings.
Yes, I know. Looks great, though.
It does look good. Tell
You
Vanessa
can
we say hi.
find Vanessa's gingerbread recipe online later today at Houston.